Around the La Vista area, or maybe just drive through that area, you may find yourself stuck in some major construction for the foreseeable future.
The project is centered around the 84th Street corridor. First Alert 6's Andrew Pfeiffer tells us how long you'll need to use detours.
It's going to be messy, to be quite honest, and it's going to be inconvenient. But the future of the 84th Street corridor here in La Vista is very bright.
Starting on Monday, 84th Street between Giles and Harrison will undergo drastic changes. Crews will begin to tear out trees in preparation for a 1.5-year-long project.
La Vista has been working on the redevelopment of the 84th Street corridor for a long time.
Since 2014, La Vista has been planning for these changes. On both sides of 84th Street, there are these singular sidewalks, which, quite frankly, is a little too close for comfort. But thankfully, with these designs and this new project, there will be more trails to enhance public safety.
So we'll have wider trails and they'll be further offset from the roadway, so it's a safer, much better pedestrian experience.
During construction, the current 4-lane street will narrow to 2 lanes. That will happen by late November. Crews will also remove the median and start construction of a new bridge.
So 2 lanes from November of 25 through phase 2, then we're talking really spring of 27.
Beaumont recommends 96th Street as an alternative route for traffic. The first phase will finish this summer, with the entire project scheduled to be completed by spring of 2027.
The future vision for 84th Street is that vibrant corridor with lots of life, lots of opportunities for entertainment, for employment, and that's what we're aiming for.
Reporting from La Vista, Andrew Pfeiffer, First Alert 6.
The city says they expect to put out construction updates every 4 to 6 weeks. You can find a link to those announcements on our website, firstalert6.com.